Brexiteer Nigel Evans criticised the European Union for continuing to reject attempts by Theresa May and David Davis to make progress in Brexit talks. The Tory claimed the EU were not getting the answers they like in Brexit negotiations, and were trying to poo-poo every positive move made by the UK. Speaking on BBC News, Mr. Evans also praised the government for putting money into what would happen if there was a no-deal scenario at the end of divorce talks. He said, "I sat on the International Trade Select Committee this morning and we decided that one of the things we are going to look into is what's going to happen if there is no deal." BBC News Brexiteer Nigel Evans said the EU don't like the answers the UK are giving them. "That's one thing that Michel Barnier and the whole Commission need to fully understand. At the end of the day, it takes two to negotiate, it takes two to tango, and if they are not prepared to do that, and they poo-poo every time, like when Theresa May gave that wonderful Florence speech, or David Davis is offering something, they say that's not enough, well, that's not a negotiation. It's not that they are not getting any answers. They're just not getting the answers they like. What they don't like is that we are leaving the European Union. What they don't like is that we are leaving the European Union." Nigel Evans, the Brexiteer, said if he was the EU, he would bite Theresa's hand off after Britain pledged to continue paying into the EU until the end of the budget in 2020. The European Union has said it will not budge on its red lines and will not begin trade talks with the UK until the issues of the Irish border, divorce settlement and EU citizens were resolved. Michel Barnier, the EU's chief Brexit negotiator, has reiterated the EU would not move on to begin trade talks until sufficient progress had been made. Despite Mr. Davis' calls for the EU to be more flexible, the Chancellor, Philip Hammond, has criticised spending taxpayers' money preparing for a no-deal scenario. Wednesday, September 13, 2017, writing in The Times, he said Britain will have a bright future beyond Brexit because the fundamentals of our economy are strong and will serve us well in years to come. But to unleash that potential, we must be honest about the near-term challenges and exchequer. It is my duty to be realistic about these challenges, and to carefully navigate the economy through this process in a way that protects our jobs, supports our businesses, underpins the prosperity of working families, and secures our public finances for decades to come. I also need to ensure that we are prepared for all outcomes, including a no-deal scenario. The government and the Treasury are prepared. We are planning for every outcome and we will find any necessary funding, and we will only spend it when it's responsible to do so.